But we begin with Fani Willis, with Nathan Wade, with the Georgia case against Donald Trump going up in flames. I couldn't believe what I was watching. The big picture is this case is over for Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. They're both going to get removed. They're going to have to find a new DA to prosecute this case. Since it's not a federal case, many people out there tried to argue this was the case that Trump had the most peril from. They are all wrong. I don't think this case will ever go to trial. I don't think anything is going to come of it. It is a epic bonfire disaster for left-wing activists, what has happened here. Let me just take you through it. We don't know what year Fani Willis began to sleep with Nathan Wade, a prosecutor that she hired to be a part of her DA team. There was an under oath testimony that the relationship began in 2019. Nathan Wade denies and says it didn't begin until after he had been hired by Fani Willis. Whatever you think of the particulars, here is the reality. Fani Willis could have slept with any man on the planet except for the man that she paid $650,000 in taxpayer funds, the married man that she paid to be her subordinate. She picked Nathan Wade. And Tommy Lahren tweeted underneath when I shared this, the heart wants what the heart wants, Clay, which is always a funny line anytime people make ridiculous choices. This is bonkers. I mean, just crazy. And really what has happened here is they have caught Nathan Wade lying in a divorce affidavit compared to the affidavit he filed in this case. Now, he tried to finagle it, but basically he said that he had never cheated on his wife in their marriage in an affidavit. He then admitted that he had slept with Fani Willis while he is married to his wife. When he was questioned on that, he said that in his opinion, his marriage ended in 2015 and therefore he had not cheated on his wife by sleeping with somebody else. Yeah, that's not how marriages work. You're still legally married to your wife. You lied either in the affidavit to the court about the Fani Willis relationship, or you lied in the affidavit in your divorce case. It's virtually impossible to walk this line. He also said that they split expenses. He and Fani Willis, they went on trips all over the place. And I got a couple of thoughts on that. I mean, they went to Napa. They went to the Caribbean. I think they went to Mexico. They went to Tennessee. So many different places out there. Only one receipt or one statement, since he tried to dispute what a receipt was versus a statement, only one statement showed Fani Willis paying any of their travel costs at all. He said that while he paid for virtually everything, she reimbursed him. Asked how she reimbursed him, he said she paid cash. All right. I want any man who has ever taken a woman that he is sleeping with on vacation, that he has put on his credit card, cruise, trip to the Caribbean, trip to, the mountains of Tennessee, whatever you want to say. Has any man ever demanded that the woman that he was sleeping with go halfsies and pay him back in cash for the vacation and stayed in a relationship? I don't believe that this has ever happened. Now, if you want out of the relationship and you want to show the woman that you're a no-good, dirty, rotten cheapskate, you can be like, hey, you owe me $74.36 for that steak dinner we just had. Hey, remember when we went to Mexico and we stayed at that resort and you slept with me 19 times in 6 days? Yeah, it turns out I need half from you. That's going to be $436.93. Okay? That does not happen. I understand the attempt to make it look like you weren't using all the taxpayer dollars to help fund your extravagant travel around the country and around the region lifestyle? We all know you're lying. Also, I'm rich. I'm lucky to be rich. I don't ever have that much cash. I rarely have more than like $500 on me, ever. Unless I'm going to Vegas and I want to gamble and I take money out in advance, or unless I won a lot of money in Vegas, I never have cash. Most of you out there right now, you don't walk around with thousands of dollars in cash. You just don't do it. You use a credit card. You pay for everything probably on your credit or debit card. The younger you are, the less likely you are to have cash. You Venmo, you Cash App, whatever. This dude is telling lie after lie after lie. And Fani Willis is testifying, I believe, right now. Remember, she said before all this happened that the city of Atlanta deserves a DA that won't have sex with his employees because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket. That's what she said when she was campaigning in 2020. Now, I'm going to finish the show. I cannot wait to sit down in front of the television and watch this testimony because I couldn't believe what I was seeing from Nathan Wade earlier. He said, and this I can tell you is 100% a lie. He said that sometimes he and Fani Willis would drive to Tennessee for lunch. I'm sorry, that's a lie. I live in Tennessee. I live in Nashville. My kids are Atlanta Braves fans. I have driven down to Atlanta a ton. Anyone who has ever been in Atlanta and driven to Tennessee knows that you have to go through Chattanooga, my mom's hometown. It is impossible to drive through Chattanooga, Tennessee without getting stuck in the worst traffic for the smallest city per capita that exists anywhere in the United States. You cannot drive smoothly through Chattanooga, Tennessee. You always get stuck there. It's a long drive to go Atlanta to Tennessee and turn around and come back. They might have gone to Tennessee to hop into a motel and bang and turn around and drive back. Maybe they did that. They did not go to Tennessee to have lunch at a restaurant and turn around and drive back. That 1,000,000,000% did not happen. I can tell you as someone that has made that drive a lot, there ain't no way I'm driving from Atlanta to Tennessee to eat anything food-wise and then turn around and drive all the way back. That did not happen. I think what happened was Fani Willis been banging this dude for a while. She was reckless. She was drunk on her own power. And she wanted to be able to be around him. And maybe she got turned on a little bit by being his boss. Maybe her stress relief was every now and then she banged her chief attorney. Maybe she got turned on by sitting across the desk banging this married dude. I don't know. But the case is over. And her career may be over. And she may be disbarred. And same thing may be true for Nathan Wade. And I told you this was going to happen. And even they're saying it on MSNBC. When they are saying on MSNBC, this is a disaster. This is an embarrassing mess. These two need to step down. This is a clusterfuck of epic proportions. And there is no way these two can stay in their positions. They'll have to get a new DA. This case is going to slowly get frittered away. No chance of it ever coming to trial before we get to the election in November. And I think this actually helps Trump a lot in Georgia, which is a toss-up state that I think Trump is going to win comfortably in 2024. Because remember, you got cases in Florida. Trump's going to win Florida easily. You got cases in New York. Trump's going to lose New York. got a case in D.C. Trump's going to lose D.C. Georgia was the only place where there were felony charges brought where the location itself was a swing state, which now has a new meaning, by the way. Double entendre here, to be sure. I don't think there's any way that this case is still a viable pursuit of Trump. It going up in flames, I think, singes the other cases involved. And I think this is a awful day for Joe Biden and his collusion of lawyers that they were trying to use to put Trump in prison for the rest of his life. And it's just reckless. If you're Fani Willis and you are bringing charges against a former president for the first time ever and trying to put him in prison for the rest of his life, how in the world do you make the decision to sleep with your subordinate and then lie about it under oath? She's done. I think her entire career is over, and she may get disbarred, and she may end up facing her own criminal charges over this. Just a crazy story. I hope it gets covered as adequately as it should, because the state of Georgia paid Nathan Wade $650,000, and he used that money to go on extravagant vacations with his boss. They had an affair. His marriage broken up in some way. And I don't see any way that she is not done. Right now, she declared the fact that she's having to testify under oath is contrary to democracy. She's upset and says that she's offended by the entire process. Guess what? When you bang your subordinate and you pay him with taxpayer money and you try to put the former president of the United States in prison for the rest of his life, you're finished. Trump is often the beneficiary of the idiocy of his opponents, and I think that's never been clearer than what's going on right now with Fani Willis. All right, other news. There is now a March 25th trial date set in New York City. That is in the Alvin Bragg bookkeeping misdemeanor that he has elevated to a fraud, to a felony. I think this is a huge benefit for Trump. Of all four of the cases that were brought against him, this is by far the weakest and the most absurd. And I don't think it's going to have any impact. And so getting to start with another New York City trial, they're already going after his business. They're already going after him for 20-some-odd-year-old sex assault allegations. Now you get to go to New York City. I think this totally gets lost in the shuffle. I think now Democrats who thought they were going to get Trump dead to rights are desperate on the Jan 6th case in Washington, D.C. That's their Hail Mary now. That's their North Star. That is their last saving grace. South Florida is not happening before the election. Nobody's going to care about March 25th, the trial in New York City. I'm not sure anybody's going to care about the Jack Smith case because that's a rigged jury, because it's a 95% Democrat jury or whatever it is. But I do think that one going first is actually way more beneficial going forward for Trump. And I'm increasingly of the opinion that all of this lawfare that Joe Biden has brought to bear is going up in smoke and actually working to Trump's benefit, because it is showing you how rigged and ridiculous the system is against him.